Hello and welcome to this special edition of Treasury Notes, a show dedicated to the latest news and information from the office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue. I'm your host, Gina Joynes. We're here at Mountain View Elementary School in Putnam County today to kick off the 8th annual Smart 529 When I Grow Up essay contest. Coming up, we'll talk with two regional winners from last year at this school who also happen to be brothers. Pretty exciting. It was the first time in contest history that siblings won the contest in the same year. We'll see if their future aspirations have changed, and we'll also see how their family is planning for college thanks to Smart 529. That's coming up in just a little bit. But first, State Treasurer John Perdue is here to talk about the When I Grow Up essay contest, and also joining us is David Garcia, a representative of the Hartford, which administers the Smart 529 program. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here today. We appreciate you being here. And this is always an exciting day for us when we kick off the When I Grow Up essay contest. Treasurer Perdue, this is the 8th year for this contest. So by now it's old hat for you, but we're always getting new contestants. It's a pretty exciting event for you.
Well, absolutely. This is the most exciting part of the 529 program, is to be able to do this contest and see what these young students of our state, our future of our state, are dreaming about, what they want to be when they grow up and what they're writing about in their essays. And it really does a lot to be able to travel the state and see those contestants enter the contest and see what is happening out there around the state and how many that participates in the program. It continues to grow every year, so that makes it exciting for the program as we grow a $2.4 billion 529 program in the state. And you know, college is the future of West Virginia's economy, the West Virginia's future, and getting our children excited about going to college or technical education or advanced type education. That's what the Smart 529 program is about, and that's what this contest is about.
And David, every year we say the program seems to grow and gets more publicity, and a lot of people know about it, and these students enter. It's really something exciting for the Hartford as well, because it's just become so successful.
Yeah, when people realize that their children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews are going to have to get an education, they realize this program has some unique benefits, from the tax advantages to the tax deferral, and then becoming tax-free if used for some of these educational, be it trade schools or colleges. So it's exciting for families to finally understand this program and get on board.
And it's a fun, educational way to start planning. Why do you think it's so important to introduce this lesson of saving for college, Treasurer, at such an early age? Because this contest caters to kindergarten through 5th grade students.
Well, the most important thing is our students today, our kids today, don't understand money. They don't understand how to save, whatever purpose it might be. And they don't understand what their parents are going through to try to improve their education or to try to improve their lives. And so it's important to start this at a very young age, because the sooner we start it, the more that the parents can save to prepare them at 18 to be able to go to a technical education or college of their choice. And college today is getting more and more expensive all the time, and it's growing. But the point is, you have to be prepared financially to be able to go to college. And scholarships is not there for every kid. And every kid's not going to have an opportunity to get financial aid in some way to go to college. So parents that save, that gets your foot in the ahead of the curve, so to speak, so you can be able to prepare your child to be able to go to a higher education or a technical vocational education or a trade school, to be able to change things in their life. And that's what it's about. You have to be prepared now to go out in the real world to compete for a job. You have to have some kind of advanced technical college education to be able to compete in this world today.
Some type of higher education. And you know, we talk a lot about the Promise Scholarship, which is different than the Smart 529 College Savings Program. And I think it's always important to talk about that distinction, because a Promise Scholarship, while it's great if your child gets it, and definitely a program that you support in every way, it doesn't pay for everything.
Well, absolutely. I tell people all the time, the Promise Scholarships is fantastic. West Virginia, the state, has stepped up to do the Promise Scholarship. It's kind of icing on the cake. The cake hasn't been baked. You have an opportunity with the 529 plan to bake the cake, to prepare to get that icing on the cake if your child is lucky enough their senior year to be able to get that promised scholarship. So that's what's so good about saving, because college costs so much, and that's just part of the cost of college, tuition. There's so much other cost to college that parents don't really think about. It's computers, it's room and board, it's all the other expenses that pop up that they're not ready prepared to write that check for. Right. And this gives them the opportunity to really have a little nest egg set aside to really let that child know at a very young age, we want you to get advanced type education to be able to be a lot better than what maybe their parents are about.
And you know the cost of college right now is expensive. You have a child in college right now, David.
Sure do. You know, people don't realize until they start looking at, well, how much do they eat, you know, the room and board, the books. My son just called me this week and he said, Dad, I need some money. I got books. I said, okay. So it does, and it's a and if you're in a certain subject like medical field, some of those books can be really expensive. So it really hits people hard at the time when, if they were, like John says, if they prepare, it doesn't hit them as hard, and you can plan for it and call them up and say, hey, send money. And rather than just you coming out of your pocket, and come out of the savings pocket.
And they can start saving early, and one of the best ways to do that is with a 529. We're here today talking about the When I Grow Up Essay Contest. This is the 8th year for this contest. David, let's just talk a little bit about the contest and the prizes. Of course, there are 15 regional winners from all over the state, so we encourage people to enter this contest. And parents can help their students write the essay. It's a 100-word essay. Talk about some of the prizes that they can receive if they win this contest.
Sure. Those who are chosen win a $500 award to their 529 program, whether they have one existing or whether it's a new one that's going to start. And then the schools themselves get $500, which is another benefit for the schools to promote this to the education process. And then the teachers, we try to make sure that the teachers know that by using this in a lesson plan that they also can have a benefit in this $2,500 cash award that many of them have used in ways that have also enhanced the education of the students in their facility. So those, and then the winner, the person that we call, the grand prize that they pick out of the hat per se, gets a $5,000 award into the 529 program, which is a very good start.
So that's almost $20,000 in prizes this year that are going to be handed out to students. And really, you're talking about these students, 15 kids from around the state will get $500 invested into Smart 529. The other prizes that you mentioned, the teacher prize, the $2,500, that's a cash prize that they get. Also the school, that wherever the student is from, gets a $500, that's also a cash prize. So that's something that they can use for maybe a party for the kids, maybe a piece of equipment that the school was needing. There's a lot of opportunities for them there.
And so it's exciting also, but the more important part, John will probably say this too, is that it gets parents that have these children to start doing it also, to start saving, to continue the process. Sometimes it's a good prompt to get them
And
involved.
let's talk about that a little bit, Treasurer. Talk about that prompt. This contest is really to get people to start saving. And once these parents realize that it's not as hard as they thought it was to open up an account, it's not as hard as they thought it was to start saving, because you can do just a little bit a month. You can do it just in a small lump sum if you have birthday money, or if you have different types of little graduations that the students have. You can save at different times in the child's life, whatever's convenient for you.
Well, absolutely. You know, Christmas is just come and gone, and all those toys around the Christmas tree that's going to end up in yard sales down the road. If they would have got their grandparents or aunts and uncles or someone to write that check maybe and put it in a 529 program to get it started, would have been a great way to get started. Birthdays, as you said, is a great time to get started. It's great to get all those gifts, but most of the time, the best gift that you're going to be able to give is that gift of education, and that's what the 529 program is about, saving for a college education. And so that's an exciting time. To get started in the program, it's no cheaper now than it's going to ever be. For $1, you can get started. One Coke,
There's no minimum to
No
start.
minimum to get started. And an exciting part about this contest, when the kids take home the information, it really gets the parents thinking about, well, maybe I better get started. Let me look at this and see what it's about. And that's our purpose, is to make parents think at a very young age that they need to get started saving for that child and grandchild's education and make a difference in their life. And when the grandchild or the child sees that their parents and grandparents are interested in them going to college, they start dreaming about what they want to be. They start talking to their classmates, what they want to be. Like, I thought I wanted to be a basketball player, but it didn't turn out that way. But it gets them to start thinking about going to college and a field that they might want to go in, and that is important too. And they know that mom and dad and grandma and grandpa is saving to help make that happen, and that is very important to the state of West Virginia and the future of our state.
Talking about what they want to be, I mean, that's what this essay is about. They have to write in 100 words or less, what do you want to be when you grow up? Over the years, we have received some wonderful entries and some very unique professions. Talk about just how surprised you've been at what you've seen when you've read some of these essays. And I should mention that the essays are judged blindly, and the essays are judged by an independent panel.
Well, absolutely. You never know what someone's thinking about what they want to be. And, one of them, one year, a teddy bear factory. You want to have be able to run a teddy bear factory. That's great to think outside the box like that. A veterinarian, a doctor, a lawyer, a fireman. And there is some fields that people are thinking about getting into that is not exactly a college field, but the important part of this program is technical education, other types of education that you can use this money for, that those jobs pay good money too. Plumbers, electricians, things like that, that is important in the economy of the day and pay good money. And those people, young people, are thinking about those fields as well. So that's an important part about it, is getting them to think and dream about what they want to be when they grow up.
And David, the treasurer mentioned this a couple times, but college is just one form of higher education. Smart 529 investment money can be used for all different types of higher education, right? Explain
Yes.
that a little bit.
The biggest thing that people think about when they think about college is, maybe my children don't want to go to school. Well, maybe they're a gearhead. Maybe they like to work on cars. I don't know about you, but the last time I called a plumber or electrician to come to my house, it was quite a big expense. So if a child has an aspiration to be a NASCAR engine builder, that's fine. There are schools in Charlotte for that. If they want to be an underwater welder, they have those schools for that too. So there's all kinds of unique schools for photography, for welding. I mean, there are welders in Doddridge County right now that are making $150,000 a year because of the pipelines, and there are truck drivers making $60,000 to $80,000. So you don't have to go to college, but you do need a skill, and you need to compete in this world. So a vocational school is very much on the minds and should be on the minds of parents, because all kids aren't going that direction. Don't want to force them there just because people think that's where they have to go. You
need a skill after high school, and you also need some savings to help pay for that skill, to learn it and to become a master at it. And Treasurer, we talk about this all the time, the earlier you start, the better. Of course, everyone knows that. If you can start at a young age, that's why we do this contest now in an elementary school, kindergarten through 5th grade. That's the ideal age to start, but it's really never too late either.
It's never too late to start. Someone may not think about going to college until they get in junior high. And you can still get in this program. You just might have to put a lot more in, but you will still be able to get the dollar-for-dollar tax break. And the important part of this program is the flexibility of the program. You can transfer this to child to child. Maybe one child decides they don't want to go to college quite yet, and the youngest one decides to go. Well, you can transfer that money to that child, or part of it, because you still want to encourage that older child maybe to go to college sometime, because they might want to wait a little longer, and they can still use that money. The flexibility of the program, the tax break of the program, the dollar for dollar, a deduction on your state income tax is so important for the incentives to get parents and grandparents to save for their children's and grandchildren's education. And this program is second to none when it comes to looking at how do I prepare my child to go to college. The first thing you need to do is, where am I going to put the money? That it's probably going to be a good, safe place to be able to invest in the future of a program that will say that they can go to college.
All right, and just very quickly, David, if people want to sign up for a Smart 529, where can they go to get that information?
Well, they can go to our website, which is www.smart529.com. They can always check the Treasurer's website. They can go to a local bank. Sometimes people work with advisors, a bank or an investment firm. And so there's a lot of opportunities to go and to have help with this. Or if they like to do it on their own, the website's very easy to do it too.
Okay, State Treasurer John Perdue, David Garcia with the Hartford. Thank you, gentlemen, both for being here, and thank you for sponsoring this contest, which has become such a popular contest here in the state. Well, if your child is interested in participating in the When I Grow Up essay contest, it is very easy to do. Information and entry forms were sent to every elementary school in the state, and many students will be writing those essays as class projects. Once students complete their essays, they will be sent home for parent signatures. Each essay must be signed by a parent, and that is definitely important to be eligible for the contest. Of course, essays can be submitted individually as well. All you have to do is go to smart529.com to download a contest entry form. Once you've filled out the entry form, have your child write in 100 words or less what they want to be when they grow up and why. A drawing may be submitted along with the essay, and a separate sheet may be used if more space is needed. Be sure and sign your child's essay, then send it to the address on your screen. All entries must be received by February 27th. Official contest rules are also available on the Smart 529 website. We're going to take a quick break right now, but when we return, Landon and Nicholas Kennedy, both students here at Mountain View Elementary, and their mother Carrie will join us to talk about their history-making win in last year's contest. Stay with us. Welcome back to this special edition of Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joynes. We're here today at Mountain View Elementary School in Putnam County to kick off the When I Grow Up essay contest. Now in its 8th year, this contest continues to grow and reach more West Virginia students as they dream about their future, and they're all trying to win prizes to help them achieve their dreams. For one Putnam County family, that effort paid off not once, but twice in 1 year. History was made during the 2014 contest when 2 kids from the same family were announced as regional winners in the same year. Joining us today to talk about this history-making win is Landon and Nicholas Kennedy, both students here at Mountain View Elementary School, and their mother, Carrie. Thank you all for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Nicholas. Last year, you wrote an essay about what you want to be when you grow up, and you wrote about being a pediatric dentist. Do you still want to be a dentist?
Yes.
All right, tell me why you decided on that career and what you wrote about in your essay last year.
Well, I wanted to be a pediatric dentist because I like to look at teeth and see what they do and brush and do a lot of stuff with teeth.
So that was something that you wrote about in your essay. When did you do your essay? I heard that you were at home, actually, when you wrote your essay.
Yeah, I was at home on a snow day in December, I think.
Yeah. And I'm sure you were pretty surprised when you won.
Yeah.
Well, Landon, you said you wanted to be an eye doctor. Tell me about your essay.
I wanted to help people see better because I like to look at eyes and see what's wrong with their eyes.
And I noticed you have glasses on. I wear contacts as well, so you would really be helping a lot of people as an eye doctor, I guess, right?
Yes.
Tell me what your essay was about. What all did you say in your essay when you wrote about wanting to become an eye doctor?
I said I want to be an eye doctor because I want to help people see better. And my eye doctor is called Dr. Hurdle.
Were you surprised, Mom, when you heard what they wanted to be and when you read their essays?
Not at all. They've always told me that he's always told me he's wanted to be a pediatric dentist, and he has always told me he wanted to be an eye doctor. He's had an eye surgery, and he's really loves his eye doctor that he sees and just looks up to him and likes to go there. And so they've always pretty much told me that's what they wanted to do.
So no surprise at all, Mom, for
No.
you when you found out what they wanted to be and they wrote their essays.
No.
Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about their essays and just about saving for college in general. But first, we want to talk about this. After 15 regional winners were announced last spring, the State Treasurer's Office visited Mountain View Elementary School to recognize Nicholas and Landon in front of their classmates. That was a pretty fun day for them. The school received a prize as well, and Kim Ward has more on that story.
Students gathered at Mountain View Elementary School in Putnam County to recognize not one, but two fellow students.
The first winner was in the kindergarten class, and he wrote about wanting to be an eye doctor when he grows up. And the winner was Landon Kennedy, if he'll come up. Not only did two come from this school, but they just happened to be brothers. And our second winner came from the third grade, and he wrote about he wanted to be a pediatric dentist when he grows up, and his name is Nicholas Kennedy. If you'll come up.
Nicholas and Landon Kennedy became the first siblings to be named regional winners in the When I Grow Up essay contest in the same year.
We were concerned because we heard one had won, or somebody had won, and we didn't realize that it was both of them. And when she said, "Oh no, it's both," we were so excited because we didn't have to tell one or the other they won. They both had won. Pretty neat.
The boys' parents weren't the only ones pleasantly surprised by a double win for the Kennedy family. School principal Sonia Hsu was surprised by the news for another reason.
I did not know that they had entered the contest.
The Kennedy family received a notice about the contest in the mail, and the boys decided they wanted to write an essay, and they knew exactly what they wanted to be when they grew up.
Landon wanted to be an eye doctor, and Nicholas wanted to be a pediatric dentist. So he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and they both did. So
Well, we just had to think about it for a couple of minutes, then we just started to write.
They sat down for about 3 hours and did it all on their own. Kindergartner, we helped with punctuation and a few things, but they did it all by themselves.
Not only did the boys take on this assignment outside of school, they did it on a snow day.
And I thought it was just so impressive that they had done this on their own time on a snow day when most kids were probably out having snowball battles, and they were home, working on their goals, working on their future. And I just think that, it just shows that hard work pays off, and I was immensely proud of them.
Their hard work really did pay off in this case, as each of the boys received a $500 deposit in their Smart 529 college savings accounts.
We actually talk quite a bit about money in the house and how to deal with money, not in depth, but we do talk a good bit about it and saving, and we talk about their college fund and all that stuff. So it's going to help a bunch with the added funds.
It paid off for their school as well.
A $500 check that goes towards your school for equipment, for learning materials, and anything that maybe you want to use. So if I could have the Principal Hsu come up.
Each of the 15 regional When I Grow Up winners earned $500 for their school to help with those extra items that may not fit in a budget.
We need a new CD player because it's not working.
We're trying to incorporate technology in all areas of the curriculum, and so we're wanting some more technology for like science centers and reading centers.
After a double win in 2014, Principal Hsu hopes to see even more of her students enter the contest this year.
I think once you win, it just proves that it can be done, and that we can encourage all the kids to do it, because it's very helpful to, like I said, to their parents. It's very helpful to us, and it's just like working on goals and setting goals. So absolutely, we will definitely encourage it.
Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
And what an exciting day that was when the boys received their checks, and also when the school got its check as well for the money they received for having 2 student winners. Carrie, you and your husband Christopher must be so proud of the boys for not only winning, but for taking it upon themselves to really write this essay on a snow day. Talk about what happened. Did you approach them about the essay contest? Did they approach you?
Well, it kind of happened both ways. They approached me and said, we would like to write and see if we could win this contest. And I said, okay. And we had talked about it, but the opportunity was one day when we had a snow day. It happened on one day when we had a snow day, and there wasn't anything else to do. So I said, this would be a great day to write your essay. And they said yes. And they were excited to sit down and write about it. And they actually sat there for 3 hours and wrote it. And,
wow.
You know, just with me helping them with some grammar and, you know, punctuation. And for Landon, he actually wrote all of his himself. You know, being in kindergarten, that was quite a feat, you know.
And Landon, you're in 1st grade now, right? Mm-hmm. But you were in kindergarten last year when you wrote the essay. You were one of our kindergarten winners. And you were in 4th grade last year when you wrote the essay?
No, I was in 3rd grade.
In 3rd grade, so you're in 4th grade this year. And that's really something for students of that age to write an essay like that.
Yes.
Your mom said it took you guys about 3 hours. Was it fun for you to write the essay, or did you feel like it was a lot of work?
It was fun.
It was fun? You had fun writing it?
It was really both for me.
Why was it both? You had fun probably because you got to think about what you want to be when you grow up?
And it was kind of stressful at some parts because I couldn't think of all the words I was going to put down on the paper.
You wanted to make it nice because you wanted to win. Talk about when you won. When you found out that you both were winners, Mom, I'll ask you first. What was your reaction? Were you surprised?
I was elated. At first I thought just one won, and then I found out that both of them won. And because I was wondering how I would tell one if the other one, you know, won, how I would tell the other one. But I found out, you know, that they both won, and I was just so excited.
All right, Landon, when you found out, what was your reaction when you found out you won?
I was happy.
Yeah, I bet you were happy. What about you, Nicholas?
I was surprised and very joyful and happy.
And then you got to go to a big award ceremony in Charleston, and I'm sure that was a really nice day for you as well. Talk about that event. What was it like for you?
Well, we got to miss school and we just read our essays and had fun.
It was a lot of fun, I'm sure. Now, Carrie, did you already have Smart 529 accounts for the boys before they entered this contest?
We did. When they were born, we both started 529 accounts for them.
And could you just tell me really quickly why you think it's so important for them to start saving for higher ed now?
For their education in the future and for the competitive world of jobs, I think it's highly important to have a college education.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. And once again, congratulations on your big win. And hopefully this year maybe some of your classmates will be winners. Are you going to encourage them to participate?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that's all the time we have for this interview. Thanks so much for joining us today. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on our website. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joynes with the Office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue.